be seated. The governor, Mama Kisumu, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to have opportunity to be here this morning. I feel very nostalgic standing before you here to talk about what in Kisumu. Because, not far away from where I'm standing, behind here, is the Kaloleni Estate. I saw the MCA of this, this what is called? Kaloleni Ward. Yes. That is where I was actually brought up, in Kaloleni. And water was a problem, but there's water within the estate. There are water kiosks. So people used to go and buy water. One of the people who was operating, the one next to us was called Ojijo. And one debe of water was 2 cents. In those days, there was a coin called hela. So a debe was 2 cents. And they would charge you 1 cent to bring it home. Otherwise, you'd go and buy it there and bring it home. But it was always available there. You also had public latrines or toilet, bucket latrines, which were constructed. And people would go there, and in the evening, there would be a cart, ox-drawn cart, which was coming to collect the waste. And you see, these people were living not far away from near where Fafa Hall is. They had been brought in from Uganda, because the local community would not do that job. They were called the Joakele Wakidi. And they would come in the evening and their skirt, and they were saying, I know. Those cows were trained. They knew where to navigate the corner and clean this place, and they would put jays in those buckets every evening. So it was done very well. So the municipality did not ignore any other place as informal settlement. But I want to tell you the genesis of this idea of informal settlement, because as you know, I've been the member of parliament for Kibra, the biggest slum in, I could say, almost in the entire Africa. You see, the colonial government was very particular about settlements, and they were providing services wherever the people lived. But after independence, because there was this influx of people moving from rural areas into town, rural-urban migration is a universal phenomenon. But here, people did not plan for it. So the government then said people should go back to mashambani. Well, what we were talking, Rudi mashambani. They even called a song. Mzee kasema rudi mashambani hakuna kazi. People went back to mashambani, found nothing good, useful to do, quickly came back to town. But the government did not put up shelters for these people to respond to the needs. That's how people started putting up structures in areas in the periphery of the city. Then they actually christened them as informal settlements. There's no sanitation, no water, no toilets, no roads. So this spread around. Like today, 60% of Nairobi's population live in what is called informal settlements. And when at one time in my earlier incarnation as a minister for roads, public works and housing, I came up with a program called slum upgrading to upgrade those so-called informal settlements. But that is a subject for another day. Let me just say that here, water is life. Whoever addresses the problem of water addresses the fundamental right and a development issue. I therefore wish to congratulate the governor, my good friend Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, his team, and the development partners that have enabled the county to consolidate the various subsectors involved in this critical area and bring them under one roof. I believe this effort will result in improved people's health and prosperity through seamless coordination and delivery of critical programs in water, sewage, and sanitation services. Kisumu County and the city have grown in profile and stature in recent years thanks to the efforts by the leadership to focus on delivery of critical services that is required for all cities and all administrations. We must not drop the ball. And Kisumu has been rated one of the cleanest cities in Africa, one of the 10 cleanest cities in Africa. One of the most critical services a government should be able to provide to citizens is clean water, no matter where the people live, whether in the city, towns, or villages in rural areas. The truth, however, is that for millions of our people in this country and the Lake Victoria Basin, access to clean water, a very basic right, which is a matter of life and death, remains a dream even right here in the city. The result is that diseases like cholera and diarrhea are still claiming lives and continue to be leading causes of mortality, particularly among children. I therefore commend the county for every effort to consolidate and expand the provision of water and sanitation services. And I was very particular during the briefing session before we came down here. You are not just looking for water for drinking. The value of water in the economic chain is long. Our women need to deliver in facilities with water and sanitation, which also give the newborn babies a realistic chance to survive. Industries need huge quantities of water to operate. Any investor who wants to come to invest in Kisumu will look for two things: energy and two, water. You have sufficient water. Those are factors which helped to make decisions. Investment in water and sanitation, therefore, make for very good economics. The World Health Organization estimates that the economic return on sanitation spending is $5.5 for every $1 invested, making it among one of the largest development dividends of any single intervention in people's lives. In this regard, therefore, I want to encourage Kisumu and all our counties to invest in water recycling, which means cleansing wastewater to make it reusable, and also invest in rainwater harvesting. There is no point whatsoever for a heavy rainfall to cause floods, only for a brief drought to cause an acute water shortage. Nyando is a good point. With adequate investment and planning, you can make water readily available when or where it is needed. We therefore also need to invest in the quality of the water environment of the regions, these rivers and lakes, which have been severely polluted by social and economic activities. This will give new lease of life to other water-based activities like fishing and farming. For instance, when we talk of reforestation, Let us think of restoring not just the hills and mountains, but also restoration of the indigenous plantations of our river and lake basins that support the natural breeding of fish. Our counties, therefore, need to champion the planting of wetland plants like odundu, asau, togo, etc., to safeguard these water bodies, to protect sustainable fishing and other economic activities. For all this to succeed, we need to invest in forward planning. Cities, regions, and countries that succeed are those that invest in and respect the results of planning. Over prolonged periods running into centuries, cities like Paris, Berlin, London, Washington, D.C., and Tokyo, among others, have been able to retain their identity and provide critical services like transportation, health, water, sanitation, energy, education, and fiber optics because they embraced planning from the start and stuck to it. In these cities, the bus stage, the fire station, the train station, the hospital, the university, the recreational park, the social hall, the cinema hall, all remain where the planners designated them to be, and all serve the purpose they were meant to serve. In these cities, you cannot turn a residential area into a commercial center. You cannot create your own bus station or build a house where a sewer plant was meant to be. You cannot turn a pedestrian walkway into a market or turn a public market into a private business. And you cannot turn a cinema hall or a park into a private business or a church. That is the way it should be. That is the way Kisumu must be. Everything in its right place. Today, our greatest source of failure as a country is not the lack of funds, personnel, or knowledge. It is the lack of planning. Our cities are clogged by traffic because we have created bus stages where they were not supposed to be. We have created markets where they were not supposed to be. Sewage systems are not working because we built on, clogged, or broken them. I know this from experience in this city. When we started cleaning this city with the former mayor, who is now a member of parliament for Kisumu Town East, we found people had turned public toilets into residences. Currently, Nairobi is mourning its dead and treating hundreds of injured because the city ignored planning and allowed a gas filling plant where none was supposed to be. Even our roads as a country have become death traps because planning was long discarded. Every bus or matatu owner wants to create its own stage, decides when to leave Nairobi or for Kisumu, or Kisumu for Nairobi, when to arrive and when to embark on the return journey. Our cities and towns need investment, both local and foreign. But investors can't put their money where there is neither order nor planning, nor law. We may thrive in chaos for a while. In the long run, however, we lose. Today, businesses are migrating from Nairobi to Kajiado and Machakos because at some stage, Nairobi abandoned planning and embraced chaos. They are paying for it. It is true that if you don't plan today, you're planning to fail tomorrow. Kisumu must avoid a similar fate by embracing and sticking to planning. In this regard, therefore, I encourage the administration of this county to proceed with its plans to create order that is necessary for the provision of services that in return will attract investment and create the much needed, well-paying jobs for our people. We cannot and we must not thrive in chaos. Building codes, zoning and land use planning that leads to provision and maintenance of services like electricity, water supply, emergency responses, drainage systems, and protection of assets must be adhered to. It cannot be done by an individual. The residents of this city and the entire county must get together and rally behind plans to create a sustainable county and city. The city must remain clean and orderly. It must be bright and well lit at all times. Its citizens and parents must have schools, health facilities, and well-paying jobs. It takes personal commitment of the local administration, the residents, and the elected community leaders. I wish to conclude by congratulating the governor for leading the way. I know that sometimes this is painful, but like I said last time, that nothing comes easy. If you have a boil and you want it expelled, it will be pain. Before a bath, there are bath pangs. The ladies are not comfortable. But after the birth of the baby, the mother will laugh, will smile because she has got a baby. And therefore, we know that there will be pain in what is being done here. It will be unpopular to do this kind of work. Like I know the name that is on the lips of most people in town, one Mr. Balawanga. I congratulate him. It can be done and it must be done. Thank you very much.